Hello dear students of Standard 9. Welcome to DAV Mall Public School. I am a social science teacher Nitin Pushpa today. Today I will take the revision of the French Revolution part first. So let's start our today's online session. French society during the late 18th century. French society during late 18th century was divided into the three estates, first, second and third. First estate, clergies were included in the first estate people. Clergies were the group of person invested with the special function in the church. They enjoyed certain privileges by birth, like exemption from paying taxes to the state. Again, they collected taxes from the peasants, which called Tithe. So these were the first estate people. Second estate people. It consisted of the rich aristocrat people of the state. That means noble people were included in the second estate. They also enjoyed the privileges of exemption from paying taxes to the state. They also enjoyed federal privileges. Then third estate people. It consisted of the rest of the population. That means businessmen, merchant, court official, lawyers, peasants, artisans, landless laborers. They had no privilege. They had to pay direct taxes, which called tally. So these were the third estate people. Students, on the basis of this portion, one question is given here. It's a very important question with respect to your exam. So you have to write the answer of this question. Then the struggle to survive. During the 1715 to 1789, the population of France increased rapidly, which led to the rapid increase in the demand for the food grains. Insufficient production increased the price of bread, but the wages of the workers did not keep pace with the rise in price. Situations became worse when bad weather condition reduced the harvest. So this condition created the subsistence crisis in France. Then emergence of middle class. In the 18th century, a new social group emerged who were known as the middle class. They had become rich by expanding the overseas trade and manufacturing goods. In addition to merchants, manufacturers, there were lawyers and administrative officials who were educated. They believed that no group of the society should be privileged by birth. Philosophers like John Locke, John Jacob, then Rousseau, Montesquieu considered the middle class was sole responsible for the revolution. So this is the information about emergence of middle class. What about the ideas of philosophers? Listen. First, John Locke. John Locke in his two treatises of government. That means this pamphlet was written by the John Locke. He criticized the concept of divine and absolute right of the monarchy. Then Rousseau in his book The Social Contract. Listen, from his book he proposed the form of government based on social contract between people and their representatives. Then third, Montesquieu in his book The Spirit of Laws. He stressed the concept of separation of power between the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. These ideas of philosophers were spread among the people through the books and newspapers, with the news that Louis XVI is planning to impose more taxes to meet the expense of the state. That means students, entirely we can say that these philosophers were spreading the ideas about the nationalism among the people. The outbreak of the French Revolution. Listen, on 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called for an assembly of the States General to pass the proposal of for new taxes. First, second and third states sent their representatives. First and second states sent 300 representatives each, who were seated in rows facing each other on two sides. But third state representatives had faced discrimination and again they had to stand at the back. Peasants, artisans and women were denied entry to the assembly, but they sent their demands and grievances through their representatives. The members of the third state demanded the voting should be conducted by taking assembly as a whole, but the king rejected this proposal and members of the third state walked out of assembly in protest. On 20th June 1789, the representatives of the third state assembled at Versailles in front of the Bastille Palace. They declared themselves a national assembly. They also sought a draft a new constitution for France that would limit the powers of the monarchy. Against ones among that mob, Mirabeau's and Abbasias. Okay, who were they? Listen, Mirabeau was born in the noble family, but he discarded his feudal privileges, and Abbasius was originally a priest. He wrote an influential pamphlet called "What is the Third Estate?" Due to the severe winter, harvest was severely affected in the France, which led to the increase the prices of essential commodities. After spreading hours in a long queues at the bakery, crowds at the bakeries for collecting the bread. So students, on the 14th July 1789, an agitated crowd destroyed the Bastille Palace. The Bastille was hated by the all French people as it symbolized the dominating power of the king. Students, Bastille, that means he was the king of Versailles region. Then in the countryside, rumors spread from village to village that the lords of the manors had hired bands of the brigands to destroy the rice crops. So, hearing these rumors, peasants attacked many places in France. The peasants looted, hoarded grains, and burned the documents containing the records of the manor dues. Due to all these, a large number of nobles moved the neighboring countries. Seeing the power of revolt, Louis XVI recognized the proposal of assembly that his powers would be checked by the constitution. On the night of 4th August 1789, France passed the law for abolishing the feudal system of obligations and taxes. The members of clergy were also forced to give up their privileges. These were abolished and lands owned by the churches were seized by the authority. By this, the government acquired arrest worth at least 2 billion livres. So, in such a way that in France there was the outbreak of the French Revolution. Students, here is one important question. It's a very important question with respect to your exam. So, you have to read and write the answer of this question. Okay, in such a way that today we discuss about the French society and outbreak of revolution. Students, I will take the revision of remaining portion of this lesson in the next online session. So till then, thank you very much and have a nice day.